6 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is time for In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to answer your gardening and lawn care and everything associated with those things kind of questions. The phone number is 622-9622, and Carol Ann is on for the whole hour. But don't wait till the end. Call in the beginning. How come I don't hear you? Oh, I got the wrong microphone on. There we go. And you weren't here last week.
I wasn't here last week.
We had a rebroadcast, which is very rare for you.
I think it's pretty much only the first time.
I think it is.
And I mean, there was one that was a partial rebroadcast, but that was because my fill-in forgot.
Right.
And that's when Kathleen Patterson was still here. But she's moved.
Where did she move to?
She moved up to Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she built a beautiful home up there in Georgia, and she's enjoying retirement. So I couldn't go, hey, Kathleen, can you come on? And then I misplaced the phone number for the person I was going to call to try to get to come on. And the closer it got to the, because it was a last minute thing, nothing serious. It was a short business trip.
Cool trip. Sounds like.
It was really neat. I got an invitation to go with a, lack of a better term, a coworker, though we work for different companies, down to visit one of the nurseries that supply our store. Uh-huh. And it was more of a business thing, but to get the invitation to go down there, I wasn't passing it up. And to see, it was Nature's Way Nursery. They do shrubs, pretty much shrubs, a lot of tropical shrubs for our, that'll grow up as far as our area. But they also supply further north and other locations as well, not just Florida. So they grow a lot of stuff. What we saw was a lot of the tropical things, but it was moreover, it was business. It was a whirlwind. I was telling you, I was up at 4 a.m. In order to be able to get down to Homestead in order to have a few hours down there. And then we turned around and came back. Like, we didn't drive. The only thing I had to do was drive from Ocala to Lady Lake.
Do you know, I am not, and you know this, a garden expert or plant expert.
Right.
But I could, if you blindfolded me, drugged me or whatever, and then woke me up in South Florida, I would know from the plants that I was in South Florida.
Exactly.
Am I right? Is it the only place in the world with those kinds of plants, that mixture?
Not the only place in the world.
No?
But in Florida, we run such a gamut of very... of truly tropical plants, because we're subtropical, or they're subtropical, we're tropical, and then you've got a little more temperate when you get up into the northern part of the state in the Panhandle, that we run those different, and you can tell when you drive through, if you've ever gone up into the Panhandle, a lot of the pines and the oaks like you see in, say, Georgia and Alabama and all those are there. And then as you come down here into Central Florida, we have the oaks, the pines, more palm, more scrub palm, a lot of tropicals, but not as much as soon as you get down south of Orlando and those areas, way more palms, more tropical palms. The hibiscus are just massive and gorgeous, blooming year-round.
And to me, they look different than Southern California. It is a different climate. It's a little, and there are some, just based upon that we are not the same climate as Southern California, that it does have a bit of a different look. And you do have a phone call. Let's take that phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I have a question about the potting soil.
Okay.
I've been using for years the name brand, whether it's the moisture control or the non-moisture control.
Okay.
But during this season now, if watered them back about a month ago, and they still don't seem to be drying out any good. This soil stays pretty wet, and it's starting to do some root damage. Mixture you can add with that
to try to dry it out, or to try to loosen it up a bit. You might go with some more perlite. Even though perlite, you think of it as a water retainer, it does allow some more moisture to come through. It does lighten it. You might add some sand to it. To try, because sand will increase drainage also. But it's even, you're using the moisture one or the regular one?
No, just the regular.
Just the regular, and it's staying too wet.
Yeah, it's not. I've got some tropical stuff, and I bring them in when it drops below 40, but they're not. Sure. It's just not drying out from when they got watered like maybe 3 weeks, a month ago.
Oh my goodness! Sure,
Yeah.
sure nobody's watering them in between your watering.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Because so sometimes we always think I'm the only one watering it, and then you
Right.
find out that your spouse or your friend or somebody's going, oh wow, look, that plant is all awful dry, and gives it a drink on you, and you come through and you go, why is that still wet? And it's not sitting in a saucer. Is it the same pot that you've had it in, or?
Yes,
Oh.
and it's not sitting in a saucer.
Right.
When it did get watered, it was allowed to drain.
Sure. So that it ran through. Yeah, I would probably take them out of there and see if you can't lighten that up. Get some sand and just basic play sand, multi-purpose, all-purpose sand. Maybe get you a little bag of perlite and mix in there and just to help lighten that up some.
Yeah, for next year when I do it and I run into this, then I want to know that mixture. So that sounds good.
Yeah, you're well. Yep. That's it. That way. And if you're starting to get some rot now, or they're not thriving, I would probably take them out of there and redo them. Just so you don't lose them, so you don't lose anything.
Okay, sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You all have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you're doing those soils and things like that, you do have to watch and like he said, he knew it wasn't sitting in a saucer. He was the only one watering, but it is some of those funny things. If we think we're the only one watering, and you keep coming through and you go, well, why is that? I know I just watered it. I watered it last week. Why I don't have to water it yet? And you find out that your spouse has been going, oh, look, that looks dry, and gives it a cup of water, and you're, I can't figure this out. And by the time it starts to dry again, your spouse comes through again and hits it one more, and you go, I haven't had to water this in weeks. Kind of thing. So double check.
They always say when you feel thirsty, you waited too long. Have you ever heard that?
Right. Oh yeah.
So is the same thing true for a plant? Like if the ground is dry, it's probably too late, right?
If it is, there's a way of telling the difference. Let me just.
And now you're thirsty, see, or not.
I know, not there. Running the frog in the throat today. No, that. Some plants want to dry slightly between waterings or dry out a bit, that when you put your finger in, it's dry. The dirt's not just going to be dust, and you don't want the soil to pull away from the edge of the pot. That's too dry. Then you have the issue of trying to get it wet again. And most commercial mixes, especially the stuff that comes when you buy the plant, what the plant is planted in when you bought it is not meant to ever dry out completely. And it becomes almost a brick. It's very difficult to get water in. You almost have to set it in a bowl that you can put enough water in to cover that, and you may even have to weight it down because it's going to want to float. It's a tough one.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Morning.
I just had a call about overwatering.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law came to stay with us for a period of time, and she was helping around the house and doing the cooking and cleaning, stuff like that.
Sure.
One day my wife was watering flowers, and she says, you forgot the one by the door. And my wife said, that's an artificial plant. She said, oh, my God, I've been watering that. We went over, that sucker was just so, it was water almost to the top.
Oh, my goodness. That's funny. That's funny.
So you got to know what you're watering.
That's it. That was a good artificial plant, though, to look like a real one that good. Oh, that's great. That's great. Thanks for your call.
I've told you that my mom used to use artificial flowers in her garden bed outside, right?
Yeah.
And then paint them when they started to fade from the sun.
Oh, my goodness.
Just spray paint them yellow.
Spray paint them,
Yeah.
brighten them back up. Sometimes you can't tell. I was wondering, do we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the look. Okay, we have to take a little break. We'll be right back. It goes too quick.
It does.
Your phone calls are invited and important. So give us a call if you want to speak to Carol Ann, 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. After some morning clouds and fog patches, we'll see sunshine returning today. The wind will be picking up, our high 64 to 68. Then clear and colder tonight with a diminishing wind, lows ranging from 39 at the coldest inland spots to about 50 on the coast. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, the high 63 to 67. And on Thursday, mostly sunny, high 68 to 72. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Where did you sit when the dust settled?
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall.
Where did you sit when the tempers flared?
And now it appears we may have a fist fight. Drivers and helmets.
Or when standing ovation took on a whole new meaning?
All the pit crews out on pit lane to salute Dale Earnhardt, who is...
Well, from where we sit, this Daytona 500 is the chance of a lifetime. Because this is your final opportunity to experience the great American race from some of the classic seats that have witnessed some of the most famous moments in racing history. And it's your first chance to say hello to the future in all new grandstands where fans will bear witness to all the legendary moments yet to come. So where will you sit this February 22nd? Don't miss your one and only chance to experience Daytona at a unique moment in history. The Daytona 500, Sunday, February 22nd. To guarantee your seats, call 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visit Daytona500.com.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk, and
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Stay informed on everything going on in the Villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the Villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
I think that was my cue right there. I'm supposed to come back right now. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. You're in the garden with Carol Ann right now, believe it or not. And if you're out in your garden, listen. You've had a number of fans, listeners, whatever you say, that say they listen actually out in their garden. So it's kind of cool.
Well, and some of them have a little sitting area out in their garden where they can sit back, have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and then have their radio out there and enjoy. So today it's a little chilly and overcast out there, and I know I don't like it, but...
So how many people have gardens? I always picture the garden as... I mean, I'm so simple-minded, I guess. That little area just in front of the house. But the garden could be a whole yard if you wanted it to be.
It can be the whole yard. There's different... People do think of gardens as different ways. It's more of like your landscape can consist of lawn and a few bushes. Or sometimes people have absolutely no lawn because they have great big huge oak trees and big pines where that's very wooded. And then there's others who have no lawn because they've planted flower beds throughout their landscape. Right. And each flower bed is in a garden, is a small garden of its own. Or you get some of the formal gardens, which I don't think I know anybody who's really got a formal garden where you've got set pathways and very tight edges and things like that. I think most of them are more loose. They'll have a vegetable garden, an herb garden, some pretty flowers.
And do you remember I was trying to do something at my mom's house?
Yes.
I got 3 or 4 something.
The New Zealand teas.
Something tea, yeah. I was trying to, we had a bench there and I was trying to make a little area.
Make a nice little place to sit. That's
it didn't
pretty.
work out, but
no.
Too bad. I wasn't good at it or something.
Just not quite enough.
All right, you have another phone call.
Sure.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Well, when I'm doing a little gardening or a little yard work at certain times of the year, I always take my little transistor radio with me. I don't miss a minute of your program.
There you go.
More than once I ran back into the house to the phone because I had something pop up in my mind that I had to ask you about.
Well, good. That's why we do the show. That's why
Absolutely.
we do.
Now, this time of year, since probably around after Thanksgiving or so, you just don't get out in the yard that much and walk around. I got an acre here, and the other day I just took a walk back there for I don't know what reason, just to do something, I guess. And I noticed that I've got something in my lawn that I haven't had in the past, and it's kind of bad. It's like the little channels, like some kind of a bug or something, or animal.
Little tunnels?
My lawn and kind of like wrecking it. What is it, and what can I do about that?
Okay, is it little tunnels that are like the size of your finger, or tunnels about the size of your fist?
Well, they're pretty good size. I'd say closer to my fist.
It's probably a mole.
Okay.
You have a mole. He's in there feeding on generally insects underground.
Oh. Is that good?
It can be, because about 85% of a mole's diet is earthworm, but the other 15% could be grubs, could be mole cricket larvae, which are bad guys. You know, the earthworms are the good guys. The other ones are the bad guys that would be feeding on the roots of your grass. When the damage that occurs with a mole is when they lift up the turf. And when they tunnel through, it's allowing those exposed roots to dry and killing sections of the lawn. So you're either going out there smushing all the tunnels back down all the time. There's a couple ways of dealing with them. Do you want to just spook him, scare him off, or try to kill him, or?
Well, what's happening is the lawn is gone. It's dying, you know.
Right.
And there's nothing there. So
right.
I might have to reseed or something in spring. I don't know. But I would just be glad to get rid of that problem.
Yeah, there's two different ways of going about trying to totally eliminate them. Would be either the traps, which are sold commercially. That you just got to figure out where the active tunnels are. You set the trap. They're a harpoon trap that once it goes off, it will poke down through the ground and impale said mole. And then you just
make him a dead mole.
Yeah, make him a dead mole.
Goes from said mole to dead mole.
That's it. It's a whack-a-mole, but you're impaling him. There are baits that can be placed into again, you have to find the active tunnels. There are baits that you can put down. They're shaped like an earthworm. Lots of research was done on how to make a bait that they would actually eat. And apparently the consumption of one of the bait worms is enough to kill one mole. So you might be able to wipe them out rather easily. Both of those options, I think they're about $20. $20 for a trap, about $20 for a box of the baits. Another way would be to there's some repellents. And in my thought of just reading the labels on them, the liquid repellent is probably the easiest one to use. And what you would be doing is chasing him into an adjacent lot back into a wooded area. They are castor oil-based repellents, but you're spraying it out across the area. You would start probably closer to your home where you don't have him, but you would start, before you get to the problem, and just spray this out over that area where he's been active, and then you water that down in there. It gets down in the soil. I think it makes it unpleasant for them to tunnel in it. It gets stuck on their fur, makes it to where they don't want to be there. So you are going to chase them out is how that works. I've heard people have good success with those. The other thing are those sonic repellent stakes. Some are solar powered, some are just plain battery powered, that you put in the ground, and they're supposed to cover, I want to say, like 700 square feet at a time. But when we're in real dry season, I don't think they work as well. They do work pretty well with our sand, just because that sound can travel through pretty good. But when it gets real dry, that sand just, you don't get the vibration going through.
Yeah. How big are those moles, would you say?
The moles are they can get up to about 6 or 8 inches long.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
Yeah, they're normally, when you find them, I think you see most of them in that 4 to 6 inches, but I think they can get, you get the granddaddy of them, and they get pretty big. And sometimes you'll see more activity when there's less insects. They're tunneling more, they're searching in search of more, or if you find them actually above ground, it's because the parents threw the kids out. Once the juveniles reach a certain size, they got to go find find their own tunnels. Mom says, get out of my tunnel and go find you another one.
Oh, no.
And so sometimes you occasionally find them. And cats and dogs will dig them up.
Yeah, my cat, when I had a cat, yeah.
Yeah, are those larger moles? Are they the ones that make those big piles?
No. The big pile's actually what they call a pocket gopher. It's a different animal. The pocket gopher is actually probably closer to 8 inches, and they different look to them completely. The mole is kind of gray and green.
It's kind of interesting when I walk through my subdivision with my dogs and that. All of a sudden, you'll come across one person's property and they got fields all over the place.
Yeah.
That everybody else doesn't have. What's attracting that
with
bug?
With the gophers, they eat roots, and so I'm not sure if they've just this is an area where they're not doing anything to get rid of them. So they haven't, and so they just have free reign underneath there. And now the gophers are harder to get rid of because they're deeper underground. Their tunnels are closer to like 3 feet underground, where the mole is usually up near the surface, down to maybe about 18 inches.
Yeah. Years ago, next door to me, my neighbor had one digging around, and he went out early one morning and took care of it with a 22 pistol and pulled it out of the hole. And boy, I tell you, it was the size of a small squirrel.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you think of a squirrel without its tail, or the smaller squirrels without its tail, or a rat, what's the difference? Not a whole lot. Without, because they don't have tails, they're just small, furry, underground, residing creatures. But the gophers will come up. I've even heard of someone who related a story where he trained his dog to sit by a gopher mound, and anytime a gopher would come up, it just and when it would get one and give it a good shake, and there's that gopher is gone. But then the dog got banned from the local dog park because the dog spotted a gopher mound and went over there and sat and wouldn't move. And this gopher stuck its head up, and that dog just grabbed it and gave it a and of course freaked out everyone who was at the park, and they were politely asked to leave.
It's terrible.
Okay, thanks. I think I'll try with the other situation here with that oil.
The castor oil. Yeah, just take a look in the stores. They carry different brands, but you're looking for the mole and gopher repellent. They have a granular also, but to me, there's a lot of steps with the granular, where the liquid is basically 2 steps and go.
Would you just put that liquid in like a tank and go around?
No, it comes as a hose end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it goes right on your, because you need it to come out in enough volume to be able to wet the ground.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
We are just about up to the time where we need to take a little break for the news and weather, etc. So if you have, and I know you've had some callers trying to call in, so if you can just hang in there, we'll be right back after the break. And the number, by the way, is 622-9622. Where's the music? Oh, there it is. 622-9622. Carol Ann will be here another half hour, so be sure to call in after the break. 622-WOCA. The break will take about 2.5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A tough task ahead for a lot of people in Massachusetts this morning as they shovel out of the latest winter storm.
It's deep and it's wet and it's heavy.
Many schools closed and public transportation offline.
We've seen storm after storm impacting New England, and that's why we've seen so much snow accumulation there, with more than 6 feet reported in some areas. And we are expecting another storm system later this week to roll through that same area, bringing in more snow.
Fox meteorologist Maria Molina. The president could ask Congress as early as today for new war powers to counter the Islamic State group. And just off the Vegas Strip, Clarion Hotel and Casino going down early this morning thanks to 4,400 pounds of explosives. The 200-room casino hotel opened in 1970 as a Royal Inn and was called the Debbie Reynolds for its one-time owner, as well as the Greek Isles and the paddle wheel. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Superstorms, road closures, flooding, airports snowed in. If you travel for work like I do, news like that can ruin your whole day. It did mine until I discovered Citrix GoToMeeting online meeting software. With GoToMeeting, you can meet from anywhere using your computer, tablet, or smartphone. No expensive travel required. And with HD video, you simply turn on your webcam and it's just like being in the same room, which means you can stay productive no matter what the news brings.
Visit GoToMeeting.com and start our free 30-day trial.
Know-how! The last time your battery gave out, you were stuck on the side of the road showing the kids new and interesting ways to expand their vocabulary. So before that happens again, come into Napa, pick up a qualifying Napa battery, and get a $10 prepaid Visa card by mail. $10 buys a lot of soap. And with the way your kids are talking now, you'll need it. Conquer the job with Napa Know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 2/28/15.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
All right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. You're in the garden with Carol Ann, and the phone number to call Carol Ann and talk about your garden, your lawn, and your trees, and your mulch, and everything, 622-9622, 622-WOCA.
And we don't want to forget, of course, I keep mentioning it, and I will until the week of, will be Master Gardener Spring Festival, March 14th and 15th. Don't forget, put it on your calendar. 8 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 4 on Sunday. Lots of good stuff. If you've never been there, and you've heard your friends talk about it, yes, it is that good. Come on out and learn something, see some great plants. And a lot of the stuff is a lot different than what you're going to find in the box nurseries. And that's a good thing, is that the smaller nurseries still exist and either grow their own and things like that, and bring you something a little more unique.
In fact, speaking of that, we have a Bob Wine certificate we'll be giving away in about 25 minutes.
Oh, great. And I am working for something, so everybody's got to stay tuned in the next couple of weeks. I've got a program, a giveaway, something. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet. With Preen, the pre-emergent herbicides.
Okay.
Working with them. I'm waiting for my one last section of it that's still at their printer to be sent to me, and we're going to just see if we can get some folks to try out the products and let us know how they work for them. And the way Preen works is that it's a pre-emergent herbicide, that means that it will prevent weed seed or seed from germinating. So if you're using it in a flower bed or shrub bed area, your plants are already growing. If it's flowers, they need to already be planted. It's anything from seed, because it stops seed from germinating, is going to have a problem. You're not going to get that seed to germinate. But you start out with a clean weed-free area, putting down the products, water, following directions, and they really do. I've used them, and they do prevent weeds. They're not going to prevent all of them. nothing can do that unless you had sterile soil, and even then, it would have to be toxically sterile, not just with no. You can start out with sterile, but the wind blows, a bird flies by, a squirrel runs through, weed seed gets dropped in, and so it's never a permanent. It's something, but it can make life a lot easier, especially if you like, you may like to garden, but maybe you'll be going away and you'd like to, not have to worry about coming home a month later and finding your flower beds full of weeds. That's what makes
I have
it
a dumb question. I think it's a dumb question.
Never dumb.
Florida is basically all sand, right?
We have a very sandy
But
soil.
grass grows here.
Right.
Why doesn't grass grow on the beach? I don't mean up against the water.
Salt.
Really?
It's mostly because the
sometimes
salt.
it's a long walk to the actual water.
Right.
But
It doesn't matter. There's salt in the air.
Oh, okay.
There's actually in many gardening books you will see where they will list, especially for Florida, salt tolerances to plants, because some plants just will not tolerate.
But in the dunes,
there's a lot of salt.
What is that? What is that? It's not grass, but there's plants in the dunes.
And they're very salt tolerant. The beach sunflower,
but they don't
sea
spread.
grape. They don't go real far because again, it's the certain growing conditions that they require in order for them.
Is that the same reason, like in the Painted Desert or any of the desert areas? I've never been to the Sahara, but I mean I've been to the desert in Arizona.
Right.
There's
no grass.
I mean there's tree. There's what do you call them?
There's
the Joshua
mesquite,
trees.
Yeah, I was going to say there's mesquite that'll grow in some of those. If you ever notice that most of them are very shrubby, small because the way the winds blow across, because they are very open. There's no nutrition that's very rocky, and it just doesn't hold anything. But a lot of times you get out in those desert areas, and when you get the annual rains, boom, overnight, things pop up and are growing and flowering, and they may only live for a very, very short period of time, but that's how they were put together. They thrive and reproduce and have their show in a very short period of time. That's where some plants are so very, very fragrant and attracting their pollinators and things to that. And then us as well, as we want them because they're very fragrant. There are some plants that are very stinky fragrant that attract another source of insects to to them to pollinate, to do that same thing. But you sure wouldn't want to have one of those in your in your kitchen window there, because they're not very pleasant. But they all have different plants grow for different reasons. Plants that grow in the Arctic and things like that. You wonder, how do these things grow?
Isn't that amazing?
But yet they do. So it's.
Do you know what happened on Sunday? Robin and I went to Silver Springs to play music.
Okay.
We sat on a bench under a tree.
Nice.
And I thought I saw a black ladybug on her arm, but it turned out to be a black blot of goo.
Ew.
And so we assumed it was like a bird that had eaten a berry.
Okay, yes.
And it kind of didn't half digest or whatever.
Right, and it dropped what was left. Yummy. But that's always fun. Yeah. But you do see occasionally the black ladybug, the twice stabbed, usually has that's what it's called. It has two red dots on them. It's the twice stabbed.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's supposed to be a cold week, so stay warm.
Yes.
And listening to you about the mole bait, remember people that have dogs, that probably the stuff that you feed the moles that die is probably not a good thing to use.
Ah, that's true. Well, if they're, I don't know if I don't think mine doesn't dig things up that's already dead, but that is true to watch out on stuff like that.
Yeah, I know my dogs dig those holes crazy, so I don't have much yard left either this year for whatever reason. But same with rat poison,
yes.
That stuff. If you have animals, be careful, because the secondary is not good.
That's true.
Anyways, have a great day.
Thank you. That is a good reminder, and it's something that has also been in, sort of in a news type thing, is that if you are using any of the poison baits for rodent control,
right,
and that would include the moles, the secondary issue is if your pet or other wild animal gets a hold of these dying or dead animals and either feeds on them or bites into them, they too could be poisoned. I know it has happened, it does happen a lot with rats and mice and things like that, because that's something people put under their shed and the rat runs off and just dies somewhere. Moles generally will die underground, so I don't know if it's as large of an issue on something like that, because when it is something very important to remember, is that when you're putting things out, is it needs to be targeted to the proper issue. That's at my house. I actually for mice and stuff, I'll use traps versus the poisons, just for that same reason. I don't want my animal to get into it and eat that poison, because yes, it will poison them, and that I don't want the poison animal going off, because I have hawks and owls and other birds of prey that come through, and I don't want them poisoned also.
You know what you've done in the past? You have told us what the different colors of roses mean for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Remember there was some kind of a list or something?
We had a list at one time. I don't know if I have it in here. Right, and because we are coming up on Valentine's, and there's we're coming up on a lot of flower giving time.
The colors had a meaning. You had a whole list of them.
The yellow was friendship, I believe.
It's the one you don't want. You don't want the friendship.
No, but
not on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day, it might be that you're giving your best friend.
Okay.
Which it could be, that could, sometimes a lady will have a male friend who might be a best friend.
Yeah.
But
is that for Valentine's Day? That's for
it might be for their birthday or
birthday.
Friendship Day. What is that?
There's no Friendship Day?
I don't know. There probably is. Just take a quick look and see if, because I have that new, which I said I was not.
And the black one was the bad one, right?
The black. Yeah. Don't give anybody black roses.
Is black a natural color in roses or no?
No, it's been bred, and it probably is more of a really, really dark red. And same way with blue. Oh, right. Trying to find the lavenders and the blues and things like that. It's generally been bred in species and their hybrids. I was hoping to see if they just had had the list in the new. I call it the Bible, the new Southern Living Garden book, Your Ultimate Guide to Gardens, and it is a fabulous book. I had my other one. This one is an updated version of that, and I do like the layout. It's very similar to the other one that I had. That was my big book I always carried in. This one I haven't made notes and highlights and page markers in it yet, but just wait.
I'm guessing a florist knows because of doing it so often.
Right. Usually most of the time you're thinking Valentine's Day, you're thinking of the red roses.
Always.
You're giving the long
It means
stem
something.
roses.
I'm not so sure what it means.
It's that's your ultimate love on the rose. Yeah. But, to have a mixture of the whites, sometimes a lot of times people will buy the rose just because it's the person's favorite color.
That would make sense.
And so that's okay too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just like buying your loved one chocolates. Buy them the correct chocolates. If your loved one is allergic to nuts, don't buy the candy with the nuts in it. Right. It's really sending the wrong message. Same with and to me, even if you're thinking of the chocolate-covered strawberries, if you're going to do that, you might also want to do a strawberry pot and some strawberry plants.
Not a bad idea.
Let them grow their own.
Very good idea. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. We got another 15 minutes with Carolyn. If you want to call in, you're welcome to do that, and in fact, invited to do that. The number is 622-9622, and also we have a gift certificate for Bob Wines sometime toward the end of the show. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. After some morning clouds and fog patches, we'll see sunshine returning today. The wind will be picking up, our high 64 to 68. Then clear and colder tonight with a diminishing wind, lows ranging from 39 at the coldest inland spots to about 50 on the coast. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, the high 63 to 67. And on Thursday, mostly sunny, high 68 to 72. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Olstein with A Better You Healthcare Acupuncture and Eastern Medicine. As primary care physicians, we use acupuncture to treat back pain, arthritis, migraines, allergies, high blood pressure, thyroid disorders, hormone imbalances, stress, and more using all natural medical therapies. We treat the source of your problems, not just your symptoms. For more information, go to abetteryouhealthcare.com or call today to set up your appointment. 352-615-5566.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites, Ocala Bellevue.
Proud sponsor of College of Central Florida basketball. Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. You're in the garden with Carol Ann for the next 12 minutes, and you're part of the show. So call in if you want to speak to Carol Ann. The number is 622-9622. What did you find?
Okay, I did a quick search while we were on the break and found, what was it? I think they said 10 flowers, not just roses, for Valentine's. And of course, not surprisingly, is the rose. Of course, that's the first one they go. The most popular choice for Valentine's Day, because rose symbolizes love, romance, beauty, and perfection. It's also known as being very pricey at this time of year, but roses are great, and you can also do this both ways. You could get a small bouquet that might be mixed and have a couple roses. Buy a rose bush for your favorite Valentine, and then they can have roses all the time. This is also a good time of year to cut your roses back, get them ready for spring, fertilize them, give them a nice shot of black cow, trim them back, and they'll be ready to go. The Gerber daisy, everybody knows them, and they said those were known for symbolizing beauty, innocence, and purity. The Gerber variety recognize, they got the big flower heads. They stand up nice and high over top of them. They grow well here.
So that's for your grandma.
That for your grandma, or maybe your daughter, or somebody like that. Somebody you're just going to give. The happy buds are always a favorite to receive, as they say. Tulips. I never realized tulips stand for perfect love.
I didn't either.
So I didn't either, but I never think of tulips going with roses that much. Elegant, easily identifiable blooms.
Maybe because it's two lips.
Could be. The kissy thing. Could be. Thing with tulips, realizing you give them as a gift, to give them as cut flowers because the bulbs are not going to come back and bloom for you, reliably year after year in Florida because you got to dig them up. Alstomeria, also known as a Peruvian, I can get that out right. Lily, long-lasting, attention-grabbing petals represent friendship and devotion. So again, going with somebody that maybe you would like for them to be. Your sweetheart, your attention and devotion, that friendship and devotion. They're native to South America, and they will grow here. So even as a plant, again, you could find a bouquet if you want to find that, but you can also buy the plant. The Casablanca lilies, a white oriental lily, if they're blooming now, they've been forced to bloom for us, but as a plant, you buy them again, in a mixed bouquet, but as a plant, if you bought it, you would keep it in a container, put it in the ground, mark where it's at so you can find it later because it'll die back. And then come back when it's supposed to. Maybe not this spring, but the following year, and they should come back and continue to bloom for you each year. It's a short bloom time, kind of thing. That's why I say you sort of put it in somewhere where you can find it the next time, or it's like going, oh, look, it came back. Like my daughter said, oh, look, it came back. Orchids, another one that symbolizes love, beauty, luxury, and strength. They send the message of exotic seduction.
Oh, good.
So
that's a good one.
And they will grow well here,
I would say.
And they're not really expensive anymore. The basic orchids are now pretty well tissue cultured, so they're mass grown, mass produced. Not like say 15, 20 years ago where all orchids were very, very expensive and difficult to come by. And here they can be grown outside 3/4 of the year. You can just hang them underneath an oak tree, under an overhang, where they can get water during our rainy season, and they'll do fine. You just bring them in when the temperatures begin to get low and enjoy them in the house through the winter months, carrying them back out, outside. Caught that one right before it changed. Carnations stand for fascination and new love.
No matter the color, huh?
Apparently not. These ruffled blooms stand for fascination and the thing when you find them as the different colors, those have been done with dyes. They have been tricked into, that they've absorbed in that color, which that's kind of cool. And they're saying, new love is where so if a young man looking to, maybe his first love, a nice bouquet with carnations would be a good option.
I love carnations. I like the way they smell.
Yeah. Sunflowers. Never would have thought of sunflowers, but again, that would be for a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more of a friend. Represent warmth and happiness, loyalty. So maybe bright yellow blooms scream summertime, spirit lifting flower. So that's a nice one. Let's see what else we've got.
They can grow huge too.
They can, depending on the variety. They come anywhere from a dwarf up to the mammoth giants that are 12 feet tall. They're just fun to grow. Irises are another one. They indicate royalty, according to the source here. No matter what their color, though they're most commonly seen in blues, whites, and yellows, they stand for faith and hope. So mix them up with your red tulips or daisies so you can get a mixed bouquet. Will also go with those. Gardenias. Love the fragrance of gardenias. So if it's somebody, watch out if they're allergic to scents.
Do you know what we had the other day? Is this a plant, patchouli? What is patchouli?
It's
that was a romantic smell.
It's an incense kind of thing, or an essential oil.
Where is it come from a plant?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. It's got to be. It's a plant because it was one of those herb type things that is grown for that go into
almost
something
every cologne that was considered
every hippie thing.
Is it a hippie thing?
The patchouli, it kind of was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's where that scent became real popular. It was back probably in the 60s and 70s.
Because we had this topic the other day on romantic smelling colognes.
Okay.
And patchouli was within half of them at least. Yeah.
I guess could be, yeah. But the gardenias, they're very, very fragrant. You can plant these in your landscape, nice shaded spot. Plant them where it's by a window that you open often. So maybe if a kitchen window or a bedroom porch or something like that, it has some shade. It signifies purity and joy and connotes deep, old-fashioned love. The man who buys these likely has a history with the woman he's buying them for. So they're pricey and are sold generally as single blooms. They'll definitely make a statement on the holiday. Or if you have, your own, again, buy her a small bouquet, buy her a gardenia bush. and plant, and she can have it all the year long. Let's see. I got my next button. Come on. It's not going next. So, I was at the end of the page. So that was the 10th one was the gardenia. So here's something different than roses. And it came from actually Women's Day.com. I just had looked up Valentine's Day flowers, and of course they were trying to send me to every FTD florist out there. So you look down for further searches and find the Women's Day. So if you got any ideas, you're looking for something a little bit different in the avenue of flowers, and like I said, many of those we can grow right in the landscape. So a nice mixed bouquet and one she can have year round might do you better off in the long run.
And it's usually from him to her.
Normally, the flowers are...
Flowers, the chocolates.
Flowers, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's,
It's Ladies' Day.
Valentine's Day is for the guys to show their lady, whether or not, because otherwise then you hit Mother's Day, and then that's the kids doing for Mom, and sometimes Dad has part of that.
Yeah.
But this is the happy one.
Well, if you want to get a plant that fits some of those descriptions and you want a little help with the cost of it, here's a $20 gift certificate from Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery, and it'll go to you if you answer this question.
There you go.
Now, first, it's only fair to give you the phone number because some people have it, some people don't. The number is 622-9622. The $20 gift certificate is yours if you can answer this question. The University of Florida is getting $13.5 million to help fight what? This is part of a grant announced yesterday by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What are they going to use that money to fight in the state of Florida? If you know what it is, it was an article in yesterday's Star Banner, or maybe it was today's Star Banner.
It's been an issue that's been ongoing for a little bit now. So.
Yeah, so if you can tell me what that is, then you get $20 from Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery.
And there's probably a couple different answers, and it all means the same thing.
Well, you'll be the one to tell me.
I will. Yeah, it all means the same thing.
All right, let's take a call. Good morning. Do you know what I'm asking about?
Oh.
Are you there? How does that happen?
Just stop and talking to somebody else.
Let me see if I can get somebody else.
They'll be answering the phone.
Good morning. What do you think?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Is it to help control that insect that's attacking the orange trees?
Is it an insect?
It's the citrus industry, the citrus greening.
Citrus greening.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was an insect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got it. Yes, citrus greening is what I was looking for. But Caroline said that works. So this is Hugh, right?
Yeah.
Hugh, you got it. $20.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because it's the citrus greening, HLB, the citrus psyllid is all within itself. The citrus industry would have even worked, to save the citrus industry.
Yeah. But I didn't know what the citrus greening is a bug, huh?
Citrus greening is vectored by the insect. So to eliminate the insect, to bolster the plants up to withstand the greening, to survive it, because it's a virus. It's a tough one.
See, that's why we listen to you. We learned something.
Let's learn something.
Did you ever want to be a teacher?
Yeah, probably when I was about second grade. I liked school. I liked school, so I was one of those strange kids.
You're doing it now. Thank you, Caroline. That was fun.
Thanks, Larry. Had a good day.
Hang in there. Bob Kennedy is up next from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty. You can get a home and have a garden. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The